Hello, good evening, good evening. Hey, everybody. I am super excited to be on. Good evening, how are you? I at least found y'all. So shout out to all my Philly Jones. Shout out to all of my Eagles out there that we bleed green, Bird Gang, and I could not find my other Eagles shirt. Oh my gosh! So I just threw this one on. I just showed my Eagles some love. So good evening, everybody. How are you? We're about to do a live Q&A. I'm about to be in the hot seat. OMG. I hope that I don't even know what questions Vince has. Good evening. Who is in the building, guys? First of all, you already know. Can you hear me? Can you see me, guys? Let me know where you're from. Where you're from. Do I have any other Eagles on here? Are y'all ready for some live? Hey, y'all. Are you ready for some live Q&A? Hey, Vince. Some live Q&A. So let me tell you how, as people are joining, welcome everybody. So let me tell you how, what was it, October 5th? So let me tell you, so Vince is so first of all, Vince is an awesome host, an amazing comedian. We had so much fun, and we were recently at an event, WealthCom. Hey, California, I'm shouting y'all out. We were recently at, more California. California be showing me some love. I love y'all too. Maybe that's a sign that I need to come on out to California. So let me tell you how we were recently at an event, WealthCon. Shout out to Phil. Thank you so much for Phil, the Wealth Builder, for allowing me to allow me to be on that event in Temple University, and Sharif Street and Vince Hughes, and Vince was there, and we just had so much fun. But in having that conversation, we realized that so many business owners, investors, aspiring business owners are not using or leveraging their personal or business credit. And we just had a lot of really good conversations. And we said, let's jump on live, because he said, Vincent, I got some questions. I said, well, let's go. So let me see. I think he just sent a request. Guys, share this live. We're about to share some information to help you all. Hey, DMV, I see you. Let me see. And so y'all know I really can't see. Hopefully Vincent can see the comments. But y'all also be interactive. If you have questions, actually put them in the comments. Look at already. And this is just how the event was, y'all. That's why I was live, and we were there all day, and we had so much fun because Vince's energy is, I don't know, who has more energy, me or you?
Oh, we can go back and forth like Venus and Serena. We don't know who's going to get that Wilson Cup. Let's go. Let's do it, Popo.
I love it. So you said, so I was just letting everybody in Instagram world know that we were at WealthCon. We had an amazing time. So many so influential people there, a great crowd, really good dialogue. But in that dialogue, we were like, people are not leveraging their personal credit, their business credit. There's barriers to building wealth. And Vince was like, I got some questions. So I was like, well, let's go. Well, so thank you for your time, first of all. And you did a phenomenal job at that event. Like, we literally were laughing the entire time.
I'm being myself. It's silly. I was dropped as a kid, middle child, need attention. There's things I just need in my life. But all the presenters were great. Especially you, Miss Terry Kauser, was fantastic. Shout out to Classic Q by Raj. He actually gave me this custom suit right here. Sorry, it's a little shout out to him. He's coming all the way from India. But anyway, so what WealthCon was about was in the Philadelphia area. We're trying to shorten and actually restrict that wealth gap when it comes especially to the African-American community or any person of color, okay? We are not minorities, okay? We are majorities. We are kings. We are queens. We know exactly what our worth is. However, we just don't know how to implement it in the business world. Credit, when this was on the ballot, I said, word? Because we talked about how my credit history was. Again, my family coming from Jamaica. Shout out to my mom. That's where I get the Chang from. Jamaican Chinese. Dad, Black, Scottish, Irish, and Italian. We don't talk about money a lot. We talk about food. We talk about cooking. We talk about fighting. What's up, Food Nights? Great chef in there. But what got me was that raise, and again, I joke about my mom, is that she taught me credit was easy. Get a credit card, max it out, and pay the minimum. I was like, I can do that. I can do that. But that, of course, affects your credit score, which way it worked. But then now growing up, realizing that was a bad thing to do. But then also me starting my LLC, which that's how me and you start going back and forth. And now trying to figure out how I can get credit from, a bank, from a creditor, from these different corporations to say like, hey, we want to help build your business, but you gotta find the right way to do it. And with you on YouTube, you got nuggets everywhere. You're talking about, the DMV, which I did that. NAV did that. I went to some amazing banks that we're going to talk about later. But, we talked about Bank of America, Chase, big ones, but Citizens Bank, PNC, TD. I actually have my finalized meeting next Monday with Citizens Bank, in which I'll be signing to have my business account all ready. And that's because of you, Miss Terry. And just to add some more spice to this live.
I love it. No, congratulations. And you saw me. Where's my, I'm always over here with I need a real drink. Like, I'm over here with my.
I'm just waiting for you to see the glass. Can I see what you're wearing?
Look, let me see. There y'all go. Eagle.
Oh, yeah. Listen, how about them boys? How about the.
I didn't know you were an imposter. Are we going to have our first argument?
That's why I wanted to start this spicy.
All right. I'm gonna decide to love you despite your flaws.
But yeah, thank you so much for being on the live with you. There's so many knowledge that you have. I'm watching YouTube videos, finding if your business really is, your own is the first thing you actually told me to do before I even open up any lines of credit, before I get in a business account. And as you said, this is based, to me, it's kind of like the difference between snowboarding and skiing. If anyone knows snowboarding and skiing, this is it. Basically, snowboarding, is hard to learn but easy to master. Skiing is the opposite, all right? It's easy to learn, but like hard to master. But the thing is, point is this. If you get the basics right when it comes to snowboarding, right, it'll be easy to master that. But when you first start it's going to be hard as heck. When starting my business, you said straight up, make sure you got all your ducks in a row now at the preliminary levels. And once that is solid, once that foundation is key, you don't have to worry about it ever again because you did all the things supposed to do in the beginning. So I have to thank you for that. And what I'm doing now, I'm not done yet. There's still stuff to do, but there's a lot of questions that I guess we'll go back and forth and you'll be teaching more about my business.
Yes, no. So first of all, thank you for sharing it, because the thing that was critical, first of all, is you were like, okay, I'm successful. I have all of these things. I've been really great in this area, but this is an area that I'm not maximizing. Like, I'm ready to like do some other things, but let me get the information. But you were like, literally, when we had a conversation, y'all, he literally like wrote everything down, but he executed. So there's one thing to get the information. There's another thing to execute. He's already halfway done, like what you've been doing. And then I said some things like about the banks. And I was like, well, make some phone calls and see for yourself, because I'm like, always, guys, so much of the learning process is doing the activity. But I'm like, go for it yourself. And look, check me, right? And then when you went through and you went back, you were like, yup, you were right about them banks.
See, right about them banks, because when I was looking for a bank, I wanted to go. I've been on Bank of America for over 20, 30 years. Again, when you were in elementary school, I don't know how many 80s babies and 90 babies are in here. Venmo wasn't the thing about banks, okay? There wasn't PayPal, okay? It was called go to bank. You wrote something called a check. And you put your name and you signed it, and you hope it didn't do something called bounce. See,
come on.
Don't bounce Venmos, okay? It just say you broke. And they use a big word like insufficient. I don't know how many F's and I's are insufficient. Stop using big words. Just say you broke. All right? But anyway, so I created that when I was a kid. I was like, all right, I'm going to use Bank of America as, as my business account. But you got to think about other little things, other intricacies that you told me. Is there a minimum balance? Okay. Are they going to do a hard pull on your credit score? What do you need to hold that account? A lot of things I didn't even think about, because I'm like, oh, I just want to start this business checkings account. We don't realize those fees can add up. Even they're $10, $16 a month, after, that's hundreds of dollars. Before you know it, years and years, you just lost money for no reason. But as you told me, I started calling multiple banks. I did call Chase. I called Citizens. I called TD, PNC. It was between TD and Citizens.
Did I tell you?
Yep, it was. And you did say what I didn't do. You said you want a bank that's close to you, that you can walk in, make a relationship with the tellers, make a relationship with the people who work there. So, when things go a little crazy, you got people have your back, which I've had that in the past in Bank of America. Sometimes they waive the fees when I'm trying to do like a money order or something like that, because they know I'm a regular customer and they trust me. But Citizens Bank, went to the city, sat down with somebody. We had a meeting. They went down through everything. You know, if you keep this much in, you get this additional money because you get a lot of promos. You know, Citizens Bank is giving over $825 if you open up your business account and also get to your credit. And guess what? They should be promoting this live right now. We should be getting something.
Say it again. Say it again.
$825 they're giving away. And I could the credential, for example, you get $250 if you just put $2,000 when you start the business account. Now there's no minimum. You can start with $1. But start with $1. But you put $2,000. You do that, and also you have to make some transactions. When you read the 5 lines, you have to make some going back and forth, which is easy. We all use banks, all right? But then you go to a merchant's business account, you get another almost $325 if you keep another minimum. If you start a credit card with them, they can give you another couple $100. That'll go up to $820. That's $825 you can use. That could have been a paycheck for something that you can invest again within yourself or get some things that you need for your business. And they give
listen, live is over. That's it. You just dropped some bars. Like, seriously. And one of the things I always say, I love, oh my gosh. See, Terry, stay focused. Like, so one of the things too is like a lot of the banks, what you said is critical. A lot of the banks actually do have different promotions for opening up their accounts. That's why I always even say in my videos, I say, pick up the phone and call, pick up the phone and call, because there'll be different promotions at different times. But the biggest thing is what you said. You said, why aren't they don't really promote it? I always say it's a high level action item. You hear me say, call the bank, make an appointment with a small business banker, because there's information that they have that's not on their website. This is one of those things. So literally for opening up a bank account, he is walking away with $850 and a bank account is going to help him leverage. And no fees. Where, like, I know a lot of people, like, you know, other banks, like, you know, Chases and all those things, all of them have pros and cons. Everybody, nobody, we all of them have pros and cons. But I know they sometimes have like a $2,000 minimum balance. You have to get in where you fit in. So some people are like, I don't have $2,000 to put in there, and they think it can't happen for them. That's, every bank has their own criteria. That's why you do that legwork.
Yes, do the legwork. I did the research with that. And again, this is my first LLC. And if anyone wants to know about me, I am a stand-up comedian. I'm an actor, but I'm more of a host. I say something because words have power. You know, the old saying about the energy is not created or destroyed. It's only transferred. But here's the thing. When you speak things into existence, there's a possibility it will come true. So you repeat it, you make a mantra. And mine is, I'm going to be the next Steve Harvey with Ryan Seacrest Wells. I'm going to host the Olympics. I'm going to host the Oscars. I'm going to be America's Got Talent. I'll be traveling the world on somebody else's dollar of the dream I've always wanted to do. And I was doing pretty well. I got to travel to multiple countries, being myself. But I'm not going to lie to you. I talked to Terry, and I'll be honest with you guys, all 17 people and more people are coming in.
It's been going up and down.
It's coming out. It's going to come out. But I was getting cash under the table. When you get cash, you know, you can sway it, because this is stuff that you can report, you can't report. No one knows how much money you really have. So I was like, okay, but now the events are getting bigger, and now people want to use checks. Okay, when they use checks, then you're gonna have a situation of, oh, now I need a business, like a business account, so it can come directly in. And that's what really promoted me. Like, okay, I need to start thinking about how am I going.
Yes. So that is, I'm so glad that you said that, because, hey, y'all, I'm so glad that you said that, because I can't tell you. So first of all, I think I said this last night. I was on a live with one of my clients, Nicole, who was in a similar situation, had an old LLC, like a brand new one, and because she had followed some tips, was able to get more money faster with her new LLC, because she started off the right way, doing the things you're doing right now, and it blew her mind. She got $20,000 credit cards and lines of credit, a car in her business name, like right away. But what you said is so critical. So my point of saying is, I have clients I have people that come to me for information from all walks of life. We're not taught this, we're not taught it, we're not taught it. So many just have a logo, or they have their name, but they've been getting transactions from cash, and they don't realize that, you know, it's almost like a glass ceiling. You'll get to a certain point, and then you want to transition into corporate, you go to another way, like it's growing and growing, and sometimes they want a W-9 so they can report the money, and mind you, I ain't going, you know, let's be getting big checks. So now they want to like report that, because the businesses, like, you know, they report that stuff. And so it's like you run into you right now. You may not know how big it will be. For anybody out there, you may say, I'm cutting grass. I'm a landscaper. I'm doing resumes. I'm doing these things. It's a side hustle, but you have no idea. And I just got to be me. You have no idea how God will bless that vision, where it will be in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So it's like day number one, if you even think about having any side hustle, just incorporate it and get the medium stuff out the way, because it will serve you long term. And yeah, they don't want to pay you cash, the big companies.
Oh no, and that's what I had to learn. And plus, one of the main reasons we created my LLC, and it's a funny story, but I don't know if I should say this. I can tell the story because actually it's already done. But the thing is that I got an opportunity, I won't say the company, and I was going to get my own show, and everything's been great. So I did the show. It was successful. I had a good time. I paid a decent amount of money while on it. But again, just direct transaction, no less. Cool, freelance. Then the company came back and said, how would you like the show back? Because we canceled it for about a couple of months. I said, yeah. And we were going to outsource this. Then one of my guys said, why don't you make it your own show? Create your own proposal, make your own business. I'm like, okay, cool. In my mind, Chang Productions. So I write down Chang Productions. I'm like, all right, cool. I write for proposal. I'll make it all look pretty. And yeah, I'm going to do this. I want this. I'm that. All right. I'm thinking minor level. You got to shoot for the moon. You'll end up amongst the stars. I was just shooting. I didn't care. And I was thinking, they're not going to look at my proposal. They probably got big names trying to get it. They ain't going to want me. 2 weeks later, we love your proposal. We want you to do it. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, we're going to talk about your business and stuff. Here's the thing. I talked to my guys. They said, congratulations. But people don't realize Chang Productions didn't exist. Wasn't even there. I made it up. So then I had to rush everything, create my LLC, because now it wasn't going to be those little checks. This was a big opportunity. And immediately I thought, all right, if I get this much check, it's going to be very hard to deposit in my own account. Oh, crap. I have my own life. I'm Jamaican. So if anyone Jamaican in here, I have about 7 jobs. All right. So if I work in a hospital, I'm the doctor, I'm the nurse, I'm the janitor, I'm the guy, and I'm switching everything. But I'm like, all right, I got so many different hats under one name. I need to make another name to separate that. Because I don't want to combine that income, because then you get to a certain, when it comes to credit and also taxes, now you make a significant amount more money altogether. If you can get it split up, then your taxes are done differently. And that's what really pushed me. And then thank the Lord and the people above, I get to meet this beautiful queen in front here, looking like the goodness queen she is, of Terra Kyra, maybe an Eagles fan. But I do know that if I didn't meet her, I would not have been able to get this knowledge so fast and be able to keep my foundation going for my business. So I got to thank you for that.
Hey man, listen, and when the show launches, yes, I need to be. Listen, I can't wait. I'm excited for you. Like, this is just the beginning, and so you got it done. If these people just don't skip that step, if I can just give one tip, like that step of incorporating, like people always come ask me, how do I build business credit? How do I build business credit? And I'm like, that's not like where I can be like in 30 seconds tell you. Like, it's a process, right? They're like, I have one quick question. I'm like, cool, what's your question? How do I build business credit? I'm like, how much time do you have?
How much time
do you have, right? And just to put it into perspective, people are 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, and don't understand personal credit. Right? Yeah. So how do you expect to understand business credit in one conversation, with one video, with one workshop? I see people getting so frustrated. They're like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, well, what did you do? Oh, I did a course and a workshop and I watched 3 videos.
That's it.
You don't even understand personal credit yet, and you've been dealing with it for 30 years. So the thing I want to kind of say to people is give yourself some grace, right? Yep. To learn the actual process and go through it. But that beginning foundation part of actually incorporating, it's a non-negotiable, because you're not going to be able to get the big money. Get the big money later on. Like, big money. Y'all know how I be on YouTube. Big money. You're not going to be able to get the big money if you're not incorporated. And it just, I don't make the rules. Listen, I'm just letting you know what I know.
We kind of thought, my man's show right now is I see Abu Shioma right there. He's a big friend of mine, great coach. Also business entrepreneur as well. He understands this probably more than me. A lot of my friends were starting LLCs back in college. One of my friends, Dean, Gavin Dean, he basically created an LLC from $50, and from there sold it and was making millions of dollars from an idea about fitness, because he was a track runner, and it grew from there. But what I wanted to do before we get into like understanding credit, we're going to talk about this, is one of the things that you taught me when you gave me all the lists to do, creating that DNB account, which we'll talk about, the NAV account, you know, doing research on your business, understand I got my certificate of publication coming in New York, then going to the banks, making a business account first before getting a business credit card, getting a business account first, then going to credit, and then we're going to talk about working my credit. But you said, look, there's a lot of information. Write everything down one by one and just accomplish one at a time. Just one at a time. And you'll see how fast you'll get to the top by taking your time at one place. I mean, one of my heroes is Will Smith. I know he's slapping people, but he has some dimes though. And one of the dimes he did say, if you read his book, is that real good, is that his father, even though he was tough, made him and his brother build a wall. And what they did about the wall is that, look, we're going to build this wall. However, you're going to do it my way. And every brick you put down, you make sure it's the most perfect brick it is. And we don't care if it takes years. We got to make sure that brick is perfect. Because if you get one step and you do it perfect, you never got to go back to that. And then eventually the wall, but then you have a perfect wall. And my, you know, so many Jamaicans saying, she always taught me this. Look, one, never be afraid to ask the question. The worst thing someone could say is no. Try everything once. You have a reason why not to like it next time. But also do everything right the first time. So you don't repeat yourself for the second and third time. And you preach that immediately. And yeah, for like 2-3 days, I went, well, I'm a little crazy, but I went, buy my mom. Let me just focus on the banks. Buy my mom. Let me focus on the DMB making that. Buy my mom. So, because it takes some time to verify, because I had to wait. Make sure your business doesn't exist, change down productions, and that's how it goes. But yeah, that's one you talk. I want to get that out on this live before anybody continues. But the credit part, now that's the stuff that we were still trying to learn, because personal credit, I'm still learning about credit, and what I can do with it is immeasurable. Is just that it's worth more than money sometimes, because you're using somebody else's quote unquote dime to make a profit. And if you know to do it right, you don't have to even come out of your own pocket for a while if you know you got your ducks in order. But you gotta be careful, because you can't, you know, take too much you can't hold. All right.
Discipline.
You gotta be careful.
Look, I just said discipline. Like literally, you know, it's just discipline. And you know, we say, you know, bless me with $1 million. I want to be a multi-millionaire. I want to make $50,000 a month and all these things. But you have to be able to manage $30,000 before you can be blessed with $1 million. And so you have to be able to trust yourself with a $500 credit card, $1,000 credit card, $5,000 credit card. And it's all about, like, people think that getting credit cards are bad. They're not bad. It's if you misuse them or you charge up things you don't really have the money for. That's one reason why, like, actual charge cards, like the AMX model, where it's like, you know, you charge, you know, $5,000 is due in 30 days. It's not like the traditional revolving credit. Well, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, if I charge the money, it's due in 30 days. That's actually a really good wealth building principle, because it means you're not spending a bunch of money you don't actually have to pay back. It actually helps you get really, really disciplined. It's just a different way of thinking about it. But yeah, just being disciplined and using it to leverage, using it to put into things that are going to be income producing, appreciating and value. That's really the nugget. Like, what are you using your credit for?
Yeah, and I want to say this question, because we talked about it at WealthCon, and it's that discipline. And we talked about kids, you know, how soon should you give a child a credit card to teach them that discipline about money? Because, you know, I'm not gonna lie, in college, I was just swiping. I had this mindset. I don't know if I told you this. When I got my first credit card, I mean, my credit score went bob. I had like 720. So, you know, any person's giving it's the first time. I had about $10,000 in credit card by the time I was like, 23 years old.
Yeah.
What I did, though, was I used that as my income. So if I went on vacation, I didn't have $5,000. I had $15,000 because I got a credit card and I got $5,000 in cash, which is a huge thing. Again, but I was never taught about credit cards. So I was going to ask you, when people here, like, what's the age should you give a kid a credit card so he can learn that, you know, as soon as possible? Like, what age do you think is good?
Yeah, like what do you guys think is a good age to give a kid an actual give a child like a credit card? Like, I'm interested to see what you guys say too. And I'll tell you what I said.
you know, as far as like, so authorized user accounts, you know what I mean? When parents are kind of adding somebody as an actual authorized user, there's actually two things right here, right? Actually giving them the credit card and putting it on their credit, or actually just teaching them like the principles, let them have like a green dot card, which is almost like a gift card that's reloadable, so you can actually, somebody's at high school, like actually teach them the actual principles. I would even say younger than that, guys. Like I would say as far as adding somebody, absolutely. I'm gonna tell you, I have somebody in my network who's an investor, and his daughter. So I think it must have been, I think, what do you want when you're like 7 years old? That's like first grade or kindergarten.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tell you what he did though. So not necessarily a credit card, but with like allowance. It's still teaching the same type of thing. And she was getting like $20 like a week for like allowance for doing like chores and all those things. And he taught her very, 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 very young. And he told me this, and I was like, look, even I didn't think about like doing it like that young. That, okay, here's your $20. So you're gonna put, $5 in the bank for your savings. You're gonna put $5 in the bank for your, like, well, you want $5 tithing. I'm just being honest, like, that was what they did. $5 in the bank for savings, $5 for tithing. Then you have like this other $10 that you can spend or do whatever. And so then she started to learn that every week she had that $20, she could change how much she saved, how much she tithed, how much she spent. If she wanted, something, maybe, $1 or something like that. Okay, well, I need 3 weeks of doing chores to have the money to do it. And it was about everybody on here. You have no idea how powerful that is, because you're teaching the habit of wealth building, of discipline, of saving up for something. You're teaching the habit very, very young. So when you learn that habit young, it translates to middle school, to high school, to being an adult who's just already like budgeting and all those things. So I would say teach children about like just saving money, spending money, all those things as young as like elementary school, middle school. Give them an actual maybe like preloaded prepaid credit card at least in high school, like at least like ninth grade.
And that's another funny thing. And we had like 18 years old, 14 years old, unless they have a business, but need to also know how much they handle bacon and writing checks. But the funny thing is now we're in a different day and age, and this is what I'm going to put out there in the universe. Maybe we could create this.
Come on.
Parents create their own type of credit card.
Come on.
Hey, you want to go out? All right, bet. No. You want this game? Cool. It costs $50. I'm going to give you a credit of $100. Now you got allowance. So you're making $20 a week. There's 4 weeks of the month. You only get about $80 unless you work overtime, which we work our kids.
No, that's right.
Cool. We gave you a $50. Now here's the thing. You have until the end of the month to pay me back for that $50 because I gave it in advance.
Love
Okay.
it.
But if you don't, there's gonna be interest. So that means the next time you get allowance, you're not getting $20. You're gonna get $15. And if you keep it down, it's gonna get $16. And it's gone to a point, if they don't learn, they don't get no allowance. So I'm still saving money because I'm not paying you no more. But that is going towards your debt. So you're still going to do your chores, but that's going towards your debt. And then that would be a good way to teach it. We should create an app like that.
Listen, look, trademark it. We got to call, listen, when we get off this live, we got to name it something and incorporate. Right there.
The Chang cows. I don't know. The Chang.
But no, I absolutely love it. And it's just about having those conversations, because to be honest, the reason why, and let me just be transparent, right? So I work for TransUnion. I've been doing credit before social media, before YouTube, before Instagram, before credit repair was a thing. I did thousands of reports. So I've actually seen that actual credit climate change. I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with you guys. In 2022, credit is way more important than what it was like 5 and 10 years ago. Like they'll check your credit for solar panels, check your credit for ADT alarm systems. Now let me pause right there, because I was just talking to somebody about this. Yeah. I live in the Philadelphia area. Well, I moved, but yeah, in the Philadelphia area. Okay, so y'all want to zip code change. All right, so y'all remember like during like COVID, in the very beginning, like there was like a bunch of riots and all those things at like the neighborhoods and the grocery stores and all of that. So I still was in the suburbs, guys, but I was in the suburbs right outside of like West Philly. So like when all these grocery stores and all these things were like getting on fire and there was all these riots, there was an influx of all of these people like in our neighborhood. My car got broken into for the very first time ever. I had been in that house since 2011. Guys, I'm a single mother of 3. This is real talk, right? This is like real talk. Single mother, 3 boys, 3 kings, right? And I had never been in a situation, like my neighborhood was like, like a good neighborhood. I had never been in a situation where I was like, oh, do I need like an alarm system? Do I need like whatever? So I went and got an alarm system, and I got a hefty one with like cameras, everything was like $23,000, like real talk, right?
Mhm.
And I didn't even realize like part of the process was that they checked my credit.
Yeah.
So I had said to him, I said, hold on. I said, you checked my credit for the alarm system? And he was like, oh yeah, we check your credit, especially for the, like, I guess for whatever one. My mom was like 23,000, but then when you can make like payments on it. But it dawned on me, and I'm not trying to be dramatic. I want to be real serious. I'm a single mother of 3.
Yeah.
I'm in a situation where, I have a big house and I'm there by myself sometimes. The climate had changed a little bit. And I'm like, you mean to tell me my family's safety could be dependent on my credit? Because what if I didn't pass that credit check? How many people had $23,000 just to write for the alarm system? Would they would have just denied me if I couldn't pay in cash?
See, and that's another thing.
Right.
Trevor Noah, one of my favorite comedians, he has a great bit coming from South Africa. He went to go buy a car, and they said, okay, how much is the car? $20,000. All right, I got $50,000 in the bank. Here's $20,000. Oh, yeah, that's great. But by the way, we got to check your credit. Why? I have the cash. Why do you check my credit? Well, we have to know that you can pay the car. Doesn't the cash prove I can pay the car? No, we have to make sure you're a good lender. You're not lending me nothing. I am paying for it up front. And that's why this society is about capitalism. It's not a democracy. People say it's an oligarchy, because what that is basically business rules all. That's it. Just as you just said, safety. It's not like you're buying a diamond necklace. It's not like you buying a brand new, what was it, the fryer thing, the new thing that's not.
The air fryer.
The air fryer. Yo, first of all, go outside, put it on the diamond grill before you put it on the air fryer. But anyway, the thing is that you're buying something for your safety, and yet still the business goes, this lady got to have a good credit in order to get something that you're willing to pay up front, which is amazing to me because it's credit that rules, business. It rules.
They check it for cell phones, for utilities, for employment now. Like, we're in.
Whoa, hold on. Back up. They check your credit for employment now?
What? Absolutely.
Back up, 30 seconds, flag on the plate. That's face mask, personal foul. You're telling me I can't get a job and I'm the best worker because my credit score is messed up?
So what I would say is it depends on the kind of job. But yes, I've even had some real talk, guys. And one reason why I have clients from all walks of life is because I'm very big on confidentiality and privacy, right? So when people share their story, when you hear me say people's names, all those things, because they share on social media or giving a testimonial or giving me like permission, right? You have no idea how many loan officers have hired me to help them because they can't get promotions because of their credit. How many I have Homeland Security people that are clients, Homeland Security, Attorney General's office, lawyers. I've had lawyers who are lawyers and then they want to be partner, and as part of being partner, like getting ready to be partner, the credit check is part of the process. I have people, yes, they can't get promotions, and you even have to think about people in government jobs. You can go through like a security clearance depending on what level you're at, and they will check your credit to get this as part of the security clearance. Absolutely. Now, I know nobody on here may not want to like, yeah, they did that, but listen, you'll be surprised how many jobs check your credit as part of the process, or you'll have to get to a point where when you're trying to get to like upper management or like a promotion. Like, I literally had a real estate attorney who had an opportunity to be partner, and he hired me because his credit score, and they were not going to make him partner. And I'm just going to say one last thing. I'm just going to say one last thing. I'm just going to, can we tell the truth on this live? Okay, you'd be surprised how I'm kind of well connected with some politicians. Mm-hmm. Because when they're going through that election process, other people like to dig. And so they'll hire me to make sure everything is straight, everything is clean, but like LexisNexis and all those things, and get everything in order.
That is insane to me. And what's bugging me right there is, and again, I may reach in, I don't know what kind of promotion, but we are going toward.
Yes, look.
That's a little systemic R word. That's a systemic R word because in the Black community, we don't talk about credit. So imagine you going to school. You went to Yale, you went to Harvard, you went to Brown or HBCU, you got the Morehouse, whatever, and you got your degree, you're smart. And the only thing that's stopping you is not your intelligence, it's not your salary. It's because when you were younger, you weren't educated on credit, and your mama put your name on the phone bill, but you never paid the phone bill for 14 years. So now your credit score 440, and it ain't your fault but you're only 19, 20 years old, but you're the top of the class in your firm, and now you can't get promoted because of misinformation you got as a child, because we don't talk about it. See, this is the stuff we should be talking as children to our adults. This is what I say about children to adults, because kids now have so much information. They should go to their parents and go, what's credit? What's credit? And make sure the parents understand the same thing. But if not, learn together. I didn't know that. Terry, it's so fun. I just had a conversation with my boys today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a comedian. I'm happy. I got my own place. Yes. Okay. Now, my credit got destroyed for like one situation I told you I was being a person, and I put someone else on my back, which you gotta be careful. Everyone out there, I've learned this. You want to help somebody out, they want to take out a loan. And they say, can you co-sign? I'm like, I don't want to do that. Hey, I didn't get a car, can you co-sign? I didn't do that. But when it comes to school, I have a weak spot for that. If you want to get to school, I'll co-sign for that. But we got to make an agreement. Now, only problem is, it didn't go as well. So let's let you know, you got to be careful when you do that, because you got to think about your future. As Terry just said, you're right now going for Attorney General, but you helped out a cousin named Buckwheat, and that man was supposed to go to dentist school, but couldn't get to dentist school, but all of a sudden something happened. You know, Buckwheat lost a toe in a construction accident, and now he couldn't pay his bills no more. So now he had missed over 14 payments on that student loan that you were co-signing in, and all of a sudden your credit score goes from 702 to 601, and you're going, from what? That. So just be careful of that. But the point of me bringing that up is that once you learn that part, which is amazing to me, is that people are now looking at how trustworthy you are. Because I believe that's what that credit is. It's how trustworthy you are to manage money. Yeah. How you're going to pay someone back. Because that's all they care about. Is paying. But we don't have that conversation as this beautiful color that both of us have. It's not. It's not. We talk about Jordans. We talk about LeBron James crossover. We talk about Beyonce's new, single, which is like, she look thickum. The thickum look good. But we can't talk about, hey, do you know what APR means?
Come on.
Okay. Do you know what interest means? Do you know what annual fee means?
Let me tell you something. This conversation, like, literally, there should have been thousands of people. Like, we have to have, and maybe we just start doing it more and more and more, because you don't know what you don't know. So just like you're like, you didn't even know, and especially sometimes if we've been like entrepreneurs for so long, like we don't even understand like what's really kind of going on out there. And they check it for so much more now, guys. So we don't even sometimes you don't even know. You don't know what questions are asked if you don't even know what's actually going on. And I'm gonna say one thing about the student loans, right? That's actually, as far as like co-signing, I don't know if that is like the worst thing, but it's the hardest thing to fix. See, if you co-sign for a car, you can refinance it. But like with the government, I'm about to tell y'all something, right? You know, you hear all these credit repair people, right? And they're like, dispute this, dispute that, and get it deleted, and get it deleted, and get it deleted. Guys, when you come to student loans, that's the whole government. They got you, your social security number, your date of birth, all those things. They know what you had for breakfast. Good luck. I don't care if you send 500 letters. Sometimes certain things just can't be deleted. And I'm just going to tell you the whole truth. Like, I am actually, because I actually educate the way that I do, because I actually work for a bureau and credit changed my whole life, I am, and I'll just be honest, like the unpopular voice in credit, because everybody else says, don't pay collections, do disputes, get repos deleted, get credit cards deleted, get student loans deleted. And it's very predatory because that's not absolutely always true. And guys, if it was really true, credit repair wouldn't be such a big business and everybody would have an 800 score. So you got somebody saying, do it the right way and build up your business credit. And I have more results for people like, and mind you, you all have priceless knowledge, because now all you have to do is grow it and maintain it. Then you tell your friends and your kids and your all the things. So learning it actually the right way, because student loans, can they sometimes be deleted? Sometimes they can. I'm not gonna lie. I've got student loans deleted from people's reports before. However, I'm about to say something. Just because you get an account deleted from your credit report, that does not mean you don't owe it.
Yep, that is true. That's true. It just be vanished, okay? It's just in the background, hiding. Like that ex-girlfriend that still got your Netflix password, and when you're watching those amazing shows, she changes it, and now you don't know what's going to happen on that Discovery Channel that you watch. I turned off Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm done. I'm not watching him no more. But here's the thing. Shout out to San Francisco. You had a lot of Cali people here. We have another Cali person here. San Fran, I miss you too. Now, with that being, you guys must be careful of, you tried to help me with the student loan. And again, nuggets. This woman has nuggets. I want someone to help me. But there's a disclaimer. only federal student loans that can usually help. When you get to a private loan, it's a lot different. It's a lot harder to handle that. So you got to be careful about what kind of loan you're taking out when it comes to school. You know, we all filled out, you know, I always forget, I haven't done it in such a long time. Yep, there you go. That's all.
Yeah.
We did that. You know, we did that for like 15 minutes. You know what you, yeah. But when you go to another private lender, you got to be careful because then that's going to be there forever. Forever. And it's hard to, you know, get that off. But you got to be able to, you know, handle it and then pay it off. And that also boosts your credit. You know, if you could do that. And that's what they look at. Again, they're just looking if you're trustworthy. And, you know, and I also wanted to ask this when it comes to this. Oh, so we got a lot of questions now. Ooh, man, this is your stream. You better read these things, mama.
I don't even listen. I've got my glasses on. I can't see them.
I paid $5,000 for these eyes. Okay. I just heard. Okay, you understand? I just started sharing with my family since watching Terry's videos. Love seeing what he does. Cassandra says, what people don't understand is those people who are telling people not to pay their bills, collections, etc., can actually get sued for telling people not to pay their bills. Yes, because we get these crazy telemarketers saying, "Oh, you got to call credit for 1-800." I remember I tried to do that one time. They told me. They said, "Hey, what you're gonna do is this: don't pay your credit for 8 months.
Come on.
Then the credit lender's gonna come to you. Now you may have $100,000. They're gonna say, hey, give us $50,000, and we'll write it. But they don't tell you for the next couple of years you can't do nothing with your credit. You're then 7 years, boom, 7 years. Now you're bankrupt in a kind of way. So now you're stuck. Now if you are 14 years old, 7 years ain't a long time. If you're 18 years,
Talk about it.
Too young like this sexy, and over there 34, over there that sexy, okay, looking like a ripe strawberry about to be in a smoothie with a little bit of kombucha. I don't know what turmadado is. It's brown sugar. Stop it, Caucasian people. It's not that simple. The thing is, that hurts because now when you're trying to get a house with your family, you'll still be in year 4 because you thought, well, I don't got no more credit. I got to pay nothing back. Cool. But now you're not in a hole that doesn't matter with money. It's about access because now you don't have access to get that credit that would help you get the thing you truly want.
Let me tell you something. So what you just said, and you learned it like, and thank God you avoided, because people, we make these decisions in our 20s, not realizing that, you know, everything we're doing in our 20s, sometimes even our 30s are now going to, you know, in our 20s, we're kind of playing around, we're doing all these things, and now we're 30, 40, we want to go ahead and kind of get serious and get married and have children, all those things, whatever you want to do. Some people don't, right? Whatever. But for the sake of this, what I'm saying, you know, and all these things are now haunting you. So shout out to everybody on here. I see some of my wealth warriors, everybody from Credit Leverage Lifestyle. So I actually do live Q&As in my group, right? And I literally just did a live Q&A with them. It's in our group for everybody who's in Credit Leverage Lifestyle. And I broke that debt consolidation thing down, and their minds are blown away. And I have like a video I did a long time ago on it, but it literally destroys your credit. And mind you, we don't read the fine print because when you do this debt consolidation, you're asking them to get you out of debt. You didn't ask them to raise your credit score. You didn't ask them so they can get away with doing all these things because you couldn't sign away your rights saying, get me out of debt. Well, what they do is let all your accounts go to charge-offs or collections, negotiate settlements. Now you can't get business credit. You can't get a mortgage. You have no credit. Like, now, what I will say is everything can be fixed. Everything can be fixed, but you have to dig your way out of a hole at that point, and valid negative items can legally be reported for 7 years, guys. 7 years is a long time to have something on your file.
Do you know how much it costs to raise a kid to 14 years old? It costs over $250,000, okay? That's half of 7 years. That's why every time I pull out, I save $250,000. Anyway, I'm not going to say that stuff. Here's the point of me saying this, though. The point I'm saying is that you got to be careful because those decisions will haunt you later, okay? But it seems so good. What I think we do as the Black community, and I'm just saying Black community, but also Latino community, and people who are just in debt, we see the carrot in front of us. We see that goal that we rush to, but we're not seeing the consequence of getting that goal. You know, we're like, oh, I'm going to be out of debt. Bet. We're thinking short term. As a Jamaican, it hits hard for me. I love my country. And I do a little bit. I'm a little knowledgeable. I know how to read. But if you know anything about Jamaica, nothing in Jamaica is owned by Jamaicans. That's the one thing. Terrible. You know why? Because they sold everything. There's something called bauxite. If you don't know what bauxite is, a natural mineral, and it's in aluminum foil, it's in like phones and stuff like that. And we have the highest access to it almost on earth. What we did was sold it for a lump sum cash, not thinking about the longevity of the investment, and we would make more money. Because what we thought about was like, oh, okay, we're in this much debt with this place. Okay, let me sell this. We can pay some of that debt back. Not thinking I can flip that and pay everything back. But we saw a fast solution. Yeah. That's what that creditor does. That's what they call the collections. They're giving you a fast solution because what they do is that they prey on the debt. They prey on the people who are not paying their credit cards on time, and then all of a sudden they're drowning in debt, and before you know it, they're like, hey, we can give you a solution. Hey, come on, there's a solution. But they're not caring about your longevity, because know what they do is about this. At the end of the day, they're buying that debt from somebody else for basically nothing.
Yeah.
Making a profit off your suffering. But because you're so rushing for a fast solution, not willing to put in the work, not willing to one word that Terry said, this right here is a beautiful nugget. Discipline that you can solve yourself, that will help in the long run.
Yeah, amen. It's the truth. They prey on you. They prey on us not knowing. And so what I'll say is this: when people come to me for help, you know, first of all, you know, I'm always grateful when somebody comes, because you look, I always say you could be anywhere else, right? And I'm very big into like knowledge and education, because they prey on the fact that you don't know, right? So when people come and they made those decisions, I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I would have got you first. And sometimes I do. So like, I've gotten people like, I got somebody who was about to file like bankruptcy right before she made her appointment. I was able to get her, like, do a whole plan for her. It was like really so super easy. And so sometimes I can get to people knowledge. Information changes situations. Everybody knows, all my ET people, not information changes situations. And so we just don't know. And that's why we just have to have, I'm about to, somebody book me for some speaking events. I'll teach you. Like, but it's just because I get sad. You know, I'm a single mother of 3, and, you know, I was in foster care. You know, I was a teen mom. Like, I could have had a very, 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 very different life. And I think I shared it at WealthCon that I bought my first house at the age of 21, and I only made $14 an hour. Guys, all my friends were going to Cancun and Miami and doing all these other things, and everybody was getting plastic surgery and doing all these things, and I was buying a house. Yeah. And it changed my whole entire life. It actually led to all of this, because it taught me super young, when I didn't have mommy, I didn't have daddy, I didn't have trust fund, I didn't have anybody guiding me. To me, it gave me an option. I had a plan. You know what I mean? I could have my son in a better neighborhood. I could have a better, like, I was a homeowner at 21. It changed everything. So we just have to start having the conversations, because so many people qualify for things right now, like, and they just don't, they can't even fathom some of the things they actually qualify for, and sometimes it's like 2 or 3 steps away, and I'm like, do this and that, and you're done. Look, this and that, and you're done.
Which is simple, and the thing is, but also it's repetition, because what happens is, if we do this live tonight, we talk about it one time. Now we got a good amount of people listening, cool, but then the thing is that we don't have the conversation again, and the information, because there's so many people, there's almost 10 billion people here. You got to repeat these things. I mean, we repeat quotes all the time, but it's got to stay in that brain. But those conversations have to be a continuation, okay? There shouldn't be an end to this information. There could just be a repetitiveness, which is fine. Sometimes you got to keep beating information to somebody until they do it. And I think a lot of people should start going, let's listen to everybody. But Terry Cowser, if you can, just keep watching the videos. You got to put your goals on the wall, write them down, one thing at a time, get them done. I mean, come on, it's inspiration. Making $14 an hour. Mother, not even 25. You can't even rent a car yet until you're 25. Boom. You had that discipline to say, you know what, nah, I don't need to go drink with my friends. You know, I'm going to do that later in life. I can go drink it later in life. Because look, as a comedian, I'm different. I work a full-time job, and I do my dream. And the things that, I had credit cards. So when I go out, I can pay for my friends. Dope. But it's weird when you look at another performer and, you know, you out, you can say, all right, cool, I get the first round. Got the second round, and they look at me and say, no. What, you don't drink? No, I can't afford it. You can't afford a beer, bruh? You don't got enough means to afford a beer. I understand you're going for your dream, but come on, man. You got, now this is a financial conversation past your dream. Yeah, if you make it big, good job. But you don't got to do that starving artist stuff, all right? Think about the long run. Right now, it's cool. Think about what's going to happen 10, 20 years from now. And that's another conversation we're talking about. We're going to go back to credit. We got to go back to credit.
Yeah, all right, yes, I know, because we will get somebody. Let me just say that you just spoke to my whole soul right now. You don't even realize it. Like, when I do and I never intended to be a content creator, but just like, you know, and that's never how my brand started. But when COVID happened, those things in social media is how you kind of grow. And here I am in this space that I never intended. It's honestly, it's been a blessing, but I'm still learning. And I'll say something and I'll think, well, they heard that already. They heard that already. But you're right. It's like the repetition. Sometimes I'll like repeat something, or I'll do a video on it or a post, and someone's like, oh, great information. I'm like, I said that 5 times. So I'm learning that, you know, people retain it differently. People see it differently. Like, you know, and I have to just kind of like start getting you, like, you just spoke to my whole soul. Got it. Like, just do more.
How many times, okay, just talk about the simple thing of open a business account. How do you open a business account? You go to a bank. We're going to go. Now, teach me again, because there was a word you said. Was it FIDE? The FIDE account. What was it? FinTech? The FinTech to give you
FinTech companies. Yeah. So people don't even know. So I'm about to have a FinTech company. I'm about to do an IG live because one of my FinTechs just got one of my clients $600,000 in business credit. $600,000.
Boom.
In business credit.
Business credit.
From
From
a FinTech company.
Something
yes.
like that. Do your research on FinTech. What's FinTech? Do your research on FinTech. The reason why I say it over and over again is because there's somebody that's going to come to your life that's never heard of FinTech before, and do research on it. DMB. Make sure this is DMB. Look up what DMB is. You'll find out what it is. And Terry has a whole video on that. Multiple videos. Another thing, go to different banks. Do your research on banks. Yes, there's Chase. Yes, there's Bank of America. Yes, there's Capital One. But why don't we check Citizens Bank? Let's check PNC. Let's check TD Bank. Doing research. Why are you doing that? Because you don't want minimums when you open up your first bank account. How much money are they giving you if you actually start with them? How would you like to have $2,500? You're chilling from all your hard work, 2-3 years, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. You have a chance to get another $1,000 just in bonus money just for you joining. Boom. I think someone's asking what's FinTech 12 Margarita, and you can do that.
Yeah, so absolutely. So a FinTech company, so all it is like think about it as alternative financing for business, right? So they're alternative lenders. They're outside of traditional banks, and they specialize in funding and financing for entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, small business owners, investors. And mind you, guys, small business owners, depending on what lender you kind of check with, like the definition, is usually 300 and under or 500 and under, like businesses that have 500 and under employees.
Okay.
That's almost all of us, right? Like almost all of us are kind of considered small business owners if you don't have 500 something employees, right? And so they specialize, and I do a lot. Like I have a whole business credit building playlist on YouTube. Even though I have over 600 videos, I have like, I don't know, maybe 80 something that are just on that. And I have a bunch of videos on just FinTech companies because they specialize in that financing. Less documentation, will fund you faster, will give you higher amounts. So if I can give you like an example, you know how for real estate, you have traditional banks, credit unions, and you have hard money lenders.
Yep.
Hard money lenders are specifically for like real estate investors, for flips. It's like considered kind of alternative financing. They have more flexibility because they aren't a traditional bank. That's exactly what FinTech companies are to business credit. That they have they have more flexibility because sometimes they're direct funders, sometimes they're private investors, all those things. And I personally work with a bunch of them to help my clients actually get like good results. And I usually also, be careful, do your research. Like I make sure I work with banks that are FinTech companies that are backed by like banks, FDIC insured, and all those things. And so more money, faster, less documentation. FinTech.
FinTech, all right? FinTech, gonna get them checks for you. That's what you want, see? But that's the thing. Somebody in this chat didn't know what that simple thing is to do research, because also it's the acts of these different avenues that are spoken about but needs to be repeated in different ways. And the point of me saying that is that how many times do you get a quote that's repeated over and over again? However, on YouTube, on Instagram, and Facebook, it's just said different. You know,
right.
It said like Denzel Washington, fall 7 times, get up 8, but then you do it another one, okay? Little things like that. But then, as someone just said in the chat, remember, sometimes you got to hear and see it 7 times to register in somebody's information. So it's that information. And like we were just talking about credit, you were teaching me that, I can get a lot of things fixed just by making these foundational things happen now. Or not even fix, save my butt from other things that will probably, destroy me later. Just making sure everything is, T's are crossed and I's are dotted. And that's from you. And just keep watching your videos and educating ourselves and having these conversations about how to manage your credit so you can have a $600,000 just credit just chilling there. And they can use for everything. You could use that for your business meeting. You can use that to buy yourself some bonuses for your employees. But of course, make sure your business is running well. Don't be using credit. You can't pay back. Gotta think about that. Because just like gambling, it's kind of like gambling in a sense of, don't be gambling that you can't lose. But it's also like investing, which I invested. Don't put in money that you cannot lose. It's the same with credit. Don't be using that credit card if there's no means to that end, in the sense of ending that debt so you pay it off, so then you get hired later.
That's good. That's and honestly, like that's the nugget that needs to be said, because people will come to me and they'll be like, well, I want a business loan, I want a business line of credit. I'm like, well, what's your business? Well, I don't know you. What's your plan to pay it back? Well, I don't know. And I'm like, well, don't understand that it's still credit. You have to have a way to actually pay it back. So let me give y'all a real quick hack, a real quick small hack. My current leverage lifestyle people know this. And so let's say even with a business loan or a business line of credit, let's say you get, $20,000 in a business line of credit or a business loan. Well, what most people do is get the $20,000, they use all $20,000, and then they're like, oh crap, I got to make these monthly payments. What am I going to do? And guys, high level nugget, don't default on business credit, because it is super hard to fix. It's a whole different ballgame. It's not regulated the same as personal. So you do not want to ever default on any business credit. But what I'll tell people is, even if you're a startup, even if you don't have really income producing it, let's say you qualify for this $20,000 line of credit. Well, guys, use $10,000 of it. Use $10,000 and draw maybe $19,000. Draw the whole $20,000 if you want to. That means $20,000 will go into your business checking account. You have access to $20,000, but maybe you only actually use $10,000 for your equipment, to buy a car, for your, to get an employee, for marketing, advertising, something to grow your business, right? But you let that other $10,000 just sit in your business bank account. Well, now the monthly payments are coming out of the $10,000 sitting in the business bank account. Like, you're actually paying the line of credit back with the money from the line of credit. That will give you a cushion, because that $10,000 may be what? 3 months, 6 months, 9 months worth of payments. That gives you time, entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, investor, to actually build your brand without being stressed out, have some leverage. And then, by the time 9 months, 10 months come, hopefully you put that into something income producing, you can go ahead and pay it back. And then a hack on top of that is the fact that they said you paid that back on time for all those months. Now they give you more.
Yep, and that just increases. And again, nothing is that Rome wasn't built in a day. Sometimes you may win the lottery, but you gotta be willing to put in the work. We had this great, oh my God, Scarlett. God, man, I wish I remember his name. I feel so bad. But he was the Airbnb king over there when we had the WellCon. And, he basically just said straight up, you can make $10,000 on just Airbnbs. However, he was very transparent. You won't be able to do it in 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to take months. Same thing with this credit. You can have 10, 20, 50, $100,000 in credit, but you got to be able to pay it back. But then also that beautiful hack is that using what you got to pay it off, so then people are seeing what you're doing. People see it, because anytime you need something, I'm going to put my little nugget in. Put a little Chang nugget.
Do it!
Boom. Proof of concept is key in this world. All right? Here's the thing. Tomorrow I started my business, and you got a lot of friends out there. But you will hear this, oh, no. It's those friends that say, yeah, I got your back. But they don't put a dime in your business until they see it's working. I started stand-up comedy. It was $20 a show. I had to make sure I had to sell tickets to see me. No one knew I was funny. Yo, you a comedian? Yeah, son, it's going to cost $20. What? And 2 drink minimum?
And posting a guest.
So then I would do these free shows on purpose to get more people to come. Proof of concept.
That's good.
I did the free shows. People still didn't come. They still didn't come. I was like, okay. But then I started getting a buzz. Then they started seeing me on Instagram more, so doing more and more. And here's the point. Now I have shows where I got people like Andrew Schultz, people who are like Greer Barnes want to talk to me, that literally I'm performing with, and now they want to come to the show. I'm like, hey, but real quick, I remember last show was like $10, $20. This show is $50. Oh, y'all paid the $50? Now you want to pay the $50.
Come on.
Now you want, because I had a proof of concept, and that didn't happen overnight. You got to stay consistent, all right?
That's good.
What you do, don't fall to keep walking forward. And sometimes you need a kick in the butt, but that is a movement forward. People don't realize when you get kicked in the butt and falling forward, that means you're farther than you were before yesterday. But get your butt up and keep walking, and you got to make sure people can see that you're doing the work, that you're progressing. Also, get better. And it's the same thing with credit. You know, I'm very good at storytelling. I'll bring right back to the concept right here. Same with credit. Keep pushing forward. Sometimes you don't need to get that extra shot at the bar. You don't need to buy them Gucci shoes because the other ones just look a little dirty. You need to pay off that credit card that you have. So then 2 years from now, it's not a $2,000 credit. It's a $12,000 credit card. And then you can buy that, of course, with the other stuff you've been doing because you've been working your butt off. And then you could do more things with your credit. But proof of concept. Same thing with entertainment. Same thing with this Instagram, whatever social media. And same thing with credit. They need the proof that you can get it bigger and bigger. And then you get that beautiful black card and you can stun on anybody that talks some mess about you and say, guess what? I'll pay for your meal today. Here's your 2 cents and your shot. I'm going to go over there on my yacht and I'm only 34. Hit me.
Come on, somebody. I love it. No, it's the truth. And thank you so much for sharing that, because people don't even remember, like, when you started, you know what I mean, how it looked. But it's so people, they celebrate you. So this is just a success. And mind you, if you're an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, investor, we all had to start somewhere, right? You had one house before you had, 500 houses. You had to have, one client before you had 1,000 clients, right? And people see you now, right? But they don't realize, like, you've been, Jesus. One of my mentors said to me, and this is something I always say over and over again, is that people are celebrated in public for what they do in private.
Yes.
That means when you're doing the work, like, people don't understand, like, you be answering the emails and doing the things, all the things at nighttime and doing the stuff for free. You're paying your dues, you're sacrificing, you're doing the stuff for free. That's years sometimes, right? And then you start blowing up, you're getting that momentum, and people are like, hey, you're doing amazing. Oh my God, you blew up overnight. You're like, no, I've been grinding for 5 years. For 5 years.
If I don't know if you ever acted. You ever tried doing acting, Terry? Because you'd be great if you get an acting. Just put your impersonality out there. There's an old saying: it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. It takes 10 years to become an overnight success. People don't realize that Kevin Hart, and I can only go from comedy. That's my background. Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson's, the performers like that, the Chris Rocks. Chris Rock was booed a lot in the Black community, but Bigger Blacker came out, and all of a sudden, oh my God, he's the next big thing. The thing is that grinded, and you got to realize that you got to do stuff behind the doors. Another thing, we can go back to credit, is that also you don't need to flaunt how much credit you have. You don't need to flaunt that you have a credit card that can pay stuff. Make sure you handle yourself first. Emma Watson from Harry Potter said this amazing quote, and I did it on one of my motivations. Look, I have a family to feed, not a community to impress.
Come on, say it again. Say it again.
I have a family to feed, not a community to impress. All your business owners out there, you grind. I have a best friend right now. I'm saying her name, Danielle Marshall. She saved up her money from the time she graduated college. She didn't go out for almost 4, 5, 6 years. 4, 5, 6 years. She got cash, and now she's an investment property owner. Okay? From her hard work, being a veterinarian, hard work, because you know what? I've been doing my thing. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't the most wealthy person in the world. I'm wealthy with my life. I can do better, but the thing is that I'm working my hard to get there. But I know what I love doing. I'm gonna keep putting the work. I do have to come, but the point of me saying is that you got to sometimes make sacrifices. Sometimes you don't need to go out with your friends every weekend. Sometimes you don't need to go out so you don't use that credit card that we're trying to pay off, because here what happens. This is why I don't date a lot. I talk about this. You take out a girl, it's $20. Okay, we have some hot dogs. All of a sudden, the girl real nice, she's expensive. Okay, we going to Peter Lucas. I'm spending $400. Okay, cool. You keep going on dates. At the end of the month, there's $8,000 missing from your account in a credit card. I remember the pandemic hit. I didn't go on a date for 3 months. And I was like, oh, okay. And I looked at my account. There's $80,000 chilling here. I got to stop dating women. This is But the point is that discipline. And I think that's what is another thing, is that discipline of that. Once you understand what you have with credit, what you can use with that credit, is now just using that as a weapon. So it's a weapon used against people, that you want to win stuff against yourself. Okay, some people forget you point the gun to yourself. Point it that way. Okay, you got to shoot in front of you, not at yourself. And a lot of people shoot ourselves in the foot because we don't understand the basis of credit, which again, Ms. Terry Kaiser has been educated us, and we've been talking a little about it, but it's going to keep repeating.
Yes, yes, yes. No, you gotta start from somewhere. So if I could say anything to piggyback on that is just start from where you are today. You know what I mean? Like forgive your mistakes. Don't look at the past. Don't like everything else has already been done. You can't change it. Like start when you know better, you do better, right? So once you've been exposed, come on, somebody. Once you've been exposed, then that's when, you know what I mean, that mindset shift comes. Okay, you didn't know before, but now you do know, right? And when you know better, you do better. So then you say, okay, I'm going to make a decision. We're in October. Let's make a decision to end 2022 strong, go into 2023, have new habits. You know, you're the average of 5 people you hang around the most, and make sure our circle is encouraging us, and iron sharpens iron, all those things, and put together an actual plan. Now, I just want to fix my credit. Okay, what are you trying to get? What credit score do you need? What is the problem with your credit? Putting together an actual plan for your personal and business credit, and then doing the actual work, because all the workshops and all the master classes and all the consultations in the world are not going to help you. You don't actually execute. People that are wildly successful execute at a high level. There's no other way to say it.
And I'm still learning that now. Everyone may think, oh, doing this, doing that. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna do better. Steve Harvey, another guy. I love these quotes. You could be ordinary. You could be ordinary and do what you want and live a great life. But if you want to be extraordinary, you got to put a little bit of extra in it. So that makes you extraordinary. Makes you extra. I just been myself. Wealth and money was never talked about in my household. It just wasn't. You got a job, you pay your bills, you get them, and that's it. I am 32 years old, and I'm very, very transparent. I'm just learning about this now. You know how long it was, and this is me just kicking a buck, for me to go to my credit card and see 0, 0, 0, 0. I got, 6 credit cards. When I finally saw 0, 0, 0, 0, I wanted to cry, because I started learning about different things. Started learning about interest rate, APR. I remember I have a 403B, and I had all these credit cards, and what they have, 20% interest rate, 24% interest rate. Okay, but I didn't know I had about 50 grand in my 403B that I was just putting in. And again, if you are young and you are at a corporation, get a 403B, 401k. You put in whatever you can, and you try to get your company to max it. If I put in 3%, my company puts in 6%, and that compound, it goes up quick. Anyway, saved my life during the pandemic, because I didn't know I could take out a loan within my 403B at a 4% interest rate, which could be considered as credit that I could use for anything. I did it one time, and I said, yo, I was going to pay off some credit. Cool. Paid off my credit, paid that back off. I went back again, and of course they're going to ask. And another thing we want to talk about, anytime you take out a loan, whatever, make sure it's either soft or hard pull on your credit card. Make sure which one. I actually told them I want to create an anime. I want to create a cartoon. Literally said, that is the coolest thing I ever heard, to take out a loan within a 403B. It's yours. But again, a 4% interest rate versus 24%, like 50%. And again, credit was good. But that was the knowledge I got from talking to people. And now, me being 32 years old, I'm not too ashamed to say, I'm just learning about this. I'm learning about how to understand, use credit as a leverage. Learning that I can go into a business and say, hey, you know what? I got this much. I can use this much to get more. It's all a stepping stone. So, yeah, and again, still learning. And it's okay. It's okay if you don't know it. Learn it.
It's okay that we don't know it. And guess what? So, I'm 43.
No, you're not. No.
I'm 43. You keep on saying it. I'm like, that's why I said I have 20 years of experience, y'all. I am 43 years old. Okay, so that's how I was like, I've been doing this since before social media. I started investing in 2004, before the market crashed and everything. So I've been through the good and the bad of all of this. But I'm 43, so child, that's just like, all right. Anyway,
you learn.
So what I want to also say, guys, is nugget for you guys is that 401k, you can borrow or do withdrawal too for a down payment for your house. You know how many people I've gotten who worked on their credit, wanted to buy a house, wanted to do house hacking, and the only thing was stopping them is that they don't have the down payment money. Well, guys, I do, and also my team does one-on-one consultations. We call them credit jumpstart. They could be for personal and or for business. And so when I talk to them like one-on-one, I'm like, oh my God, you don't need to do this and this. Okay, you need down payment, you need income, you need credit, and everything will be there. I'm like, you're 30 days away, 60 days away. I'm like, I can make a phone call and get you a house. They're like, I don't have any money for the down payment. Down payment for FHA is only 3.5%. Then I can ask the question, do you have stocks, bonds, IRA, 401k? And they're like, oh my God, I have 401k. How long have you been at your job? 20 years. How much is in your 401k? Oh, I got $50,000.
Bruh.
You know how many people I've helped do, because I started my whole brand doing first-time home buying seminars. That's how I actually started with real estate. And how many people I've gotten to actually like buy their actual first property from taking the money out of their 401k. And like I said, you can do it as a loan and or a withdrawal. Like, and how much you can take out depends. But some of you guys, and what I will also say is this, I'm okay with using an asset to buy an asset.
Yep. That's a bar right there. You better say that again. That's a bar.
Listen, some people are like, my 401k, well, I'm scared to use that. First of all, we don't have a spirit of fear, right? But I'm scared to use that. But guys, your 401k is something that you built up. It's for your use. It's your asset. So if you use that to do something like house hacking, where you put that into, a triplex, it's going to be income producing, appreciate in value, give you tax write-offs, give you passive income. Once you pay off the actual loan or withdrawal for 401k, that property still keeps on paying you. Well, that's your retirement money.
There you go.
Right? So I'm okay with you doing that, like using an asset for an asset. You didn't use 401k money to go on vacation. You didn't use 401k money to get a boat. You know what I mean? It's what you're putting it into. It can look like a lot of times you quadruple that money by putting it into something smart. Real talk.
Exactly. I remember when I was first getting into stocks, I was going to take out $10,000 and put it in the stock market. But again, I wasn't educated. I was during the pandemic, whatever. But realizing that if you do have, some knowledge of it, you understand, you can use that to gain wealth, to get asset, investment in there. Okay, if I could afford that payment, if I could put that $10,000 in stocks like Apple or whatever, and that's just money I could just pay off. Boom, that's growing there, paid off that. Now, bam, everything is copacetic, which is, we got just a lot of knowledge.
Yes, it's just a lot. So what I would say is like a takeaway is that everybody's personal situation is different. Your income, your assets, what you're trying to do for personal business credit, you just have to start from where you are and just know that for everybody, there's a solution to your problem. There's a solution to your problem. There's a solution to your problem. You just may not know, but I promise you, everything with credit and finances and wealth building can be fixed. It's just about how fast can it happen and putting together an actual plan, like I said, executing. But sometimes you all have everything you need to change your life right now. You just don't even know.
Absolutely. Woo! This was I forgot to tell you. I gotta go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't know. I think we've been out here for a long time. I don't think we talked about. We'll do it again another day.
We just talked. We did a little bit about credit, but we went on the story. We dropped some nuggets though. We dropped some nuggets. We'll do this another day. I have a show. I gotta check in a hotel like in the next hour. But you were important. I did not want to miss this. This is just everyone needs a concept. I think with our energies, you're a lot more knowledgeable than this. And there's a lot of questions I do have. I wrote them down, but we just was having so much fun. It was so organic.
We forgot people were going. We was talking.
We talk, but that's the thing. First time. This is the first time we're doing this, man. It's the first time. Then we're gonna do it again.
We might have a thing. Yes.
This was awesome. I really appreciate you, and all your fans. I see you have a great following, and a lot of people are asking questions, and I see they love you so much. And you're definitely a gem and a nugget to the world, if you believe it or not. Because at the end of the day, if you change one life, you definitely made a difference for that one day. Because every day is already harder for somebody else. And 10 million people in the world, if you can affect one and make them intelligent, you make them smarter, you make them more comfortable, then you are a gift, an angel on this earth. So Terry Kauser, thank you so much for being a part of your community. And this is going to cultivate. It's going to grow. It's going to grow, and we're going to see what kind of tree or flower this is going to be. But I can't wait to use this energy again, because this bouncing off.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I know you have to go, so I'll let you go. So thank you for. I had a ton of fun talking to you, and congratulations on everything you've already done with your business. This is just the beginning, so I can't wait to hear where this goes. And like probably in like 30 days, you're going to have way more things to even share. And so I'm all for it. So look, congratulations in advance for all your success with your business. Amen. Listen, and you're all mixed up. My mama's Portuguese, my dad's black, so I'm all mixed up too. So I love it.
Doing this, we gonna have a lot of food. We got good Thanksgivings, okay? We don't need just turkey. We got oxtail, curry, guinea pig. You said Portuguese. You gotta eat guinea pig, right? No, that's not it. That's somebody else. Sorry.
All right, so see you later, and thank you so much. And so everybody who joined, thank you. I think that we'll be doing this again and talk about more credit. But have an amazing night, and I hope you got some nuggets and it was helpful for you. Have an amazing night, everybody. Bye, y'all.